Hi, this is Dr. Don. I have another problem for you from Larson and MyStatLab. This is problem 2.1.39. We're given a data set of 24 doctors' retirement ages. We're asked to construct a cumulative frequency distribution with 6 classes and to create an ogive for the data set, the ogive curve. Then describe the location of the greatest increase in frequency. Okay, let's do that using StatCrunch. And in looking at the data table, once you open it, you'll see our friendly little rectangle there, which means we can just click on that and open that data directly in StatCrunch. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, the first thing I want to do is to tweak this a little bit. I'm going to label that age. I'm going to put in here classes, C-L-A-S-S-E, classes, and that's going to be 6. Okay, so we've got the basic setup there. The first thing I want to do is get my descriptive statistics, summary stats, and it's going to be for age, and I need the N. I'm going to hold down the control key, and let's go down there. I want the range, the min, and the max. And I'm going to store that in a data table and click compute. Get that out of the way. And so we've got our first column there. They're just telling us this is the data table there. And for age, we've got an N of 24, range of 29, min of 50, max of 79. First thing we need to do is get the width. And we get that by dividing the range by the classes. And you can use your little calculator there. I'm going to go ahead and use StatCrunch this time. Do an expression, bill, and I want to have the range divided by classes. I just noticed I misspelled classes, but that's okay. And we're going to label this width. Compute. And we can see that our width is 4.8333. We always round up, so that makes our width an integer of 5. Okay, we always begin with the minimum score, so we will need a from 50 to 55 to 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. That'll be our upper our limits. But one way I like to do to get this done a little bit faster is to draw a histogram. And I'm going to use the histogram tool, and this is going to be age, and I want a frequency. I want to put the value above the bar, and our bins start at 50 with a width of 5, and I click on compute. And I get a histogram here that shows me that I've got my frequencies 3, 3, 4, 9, 2, 2. Okay, I'm going to take that information and I'm going to create a little table here. And this will be my limits 50 to 54 because we always go 55 to 59, we're going up by 5, 60, 64, 65, 69, 70, 74, 75, 79. So that gives us the limits the way Larson wants you to do them. You always start with the minimum value, add 5 to get your minimums, and then you just subtract 1 from each of the minimums to get the upper limit on the class beneath. And then I want to put the values in here from 50 to 54. We've got 3, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3. So that gives us our frequencies, and that would be the first part of the problem to end up with this table. Now we want to create the ogive. And to do that, we've got to make a little bit of a change here. And because an ogive always starts at 0, and we want to get our cumulative frequencies. So I'm going to go over here and label this ogive, just, whoops, to have a name. And it starts at 0, and then we add 3, it'll be 3, then we add 3 more to get 6, and then we add 4 to 6 to get 10, then we add 9 to 10 to get 19, and we add 2 more to get 21, and then we add 3 more to get 24, and those would be the points, the cumulative values for our cumulative frequencies that we'll use to plot. And that's also the other part of the answer. That'll be your cumulative values right there, 3, 6, 10, 19, 21, 24. And let's get the x values that we're going to use to plot. I'm just going to call this H2 to distinguish it. And it'll start at 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, and 80. And that would be our points there. If you look at our histogram, it goes from 50 to 80. And so we're going to be starting there at 50, adding 3 more to make 6, adding 4 more to make 10. And that'll give us the information we need to plot our OG. The thing we need to do then is go to Graph, Scatter Plot. Our X is going to be H2, our Y is going to be ogive, and I want lines, and I think that's really all I need. I'm just going to click Compute, and we get a ogive curve, and then we can compare it to the one that they have in the homework, and that should answer everything except the last part of the question. They want to know what part has the steepest increase, what class, and if you look at this information there, let me move this out of the way, our bins, you can see that between 65 and 69, remember that the bins on histograms don't include that next lowered limit, so 65 to 69, which would be what we've got here, and it shows an increase of 9, and that would be the greatest increase. So I hope this helps.